At accident scenes. Do not get closer to the scene in an attempt to take videos or pictures. Inhaling the petroleum product is detrimental to your health. Worst of all, petroleum products are volatile and highly flammable, and a small spark can trigger a catastrophic explosion, causing deaths and loss of property. Call the Ghana Fire Service or Ghana Police personnel to handle the scene, or reach the National Petroleum Authority's contact center on 0302 550 380. Your life is worth more than a gallon of fuel. The Save a Life campaign is from the National Petroleum Authority.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
Pathology confirms a slow death from medical neglect and was not from the instant trauma. What it means is that if at any of these facilities there had been medical intervention, Charles Amissah could have survived. Now, the key findings. Charles Amissah died of exsanguination, excessive loss of blood, due to an upper right arm bone and soft tissue injury, causing damage to the axillary and brachial arteries and veins following a road traffic accident. Death of Charles Amissah could have been avoided by medical intervention at the police hospital, the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, or Kolebu Teaching Hospital. If the ambulance crew had applied compression on the laceration and packed the deep wound prior to transportation, they could have stopped the bleeding. They could also have administered intravenous fluids in the ambulance whilst moving. That would have restored the blood volume. And if in the hospitals they had either given intravenous fluids or whole blood, either in police, the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, or Kolebu Teaching Hospital, they would have maintained life. Now, there were key findings related to the National Ambulance Service. We discovered that there was lack of documentation of critical vital signs of the patient. When they got there, they were able to take the blood pressure, they were able to take the SpO2, that's the oxygen content in the blood. But beyond that, there was very little that they could do. And it was because if you looked at the ambulance itself had equipment that were stationary. And unfortunately, the BP cuff got torn, and therefore it was difficult for them to take the vital signs. One of the other things was that there was no lack of formal handing over procedure. I mean, if you go with an ambulance crew, you identify yourself, EMT, Ajimambedua Kosa, I have a patient, XYZ, and you're handing over to who? So all that becomes part of the documentation of both the National Ambulance Service and the receiving hospitals. But there was nothing like that. Lack of proper chain of command interaction. Again, you got there to the hospital, and the front person could even say, the place is full, so move on.
We are saying that it is beyond just the facility. It is the individuals. And please, if you are a medical professional and you are tired of the work, probably you have to, you can resign. I'm telling you, Ghana will survive. You have, if you are ready to work, please, there are ethics. If you can't do something, you call your colleague doctor, your senior doctor. And one funny thing about doctors is that, the senior doctors, is that they are always happy to be called. Once a junior doctor calls a senior doctor, they are ready to run and come and help. It's something that in my 33 years of practice, I realized that whenever you want help from a doctor you call, a colleague doctor calls that person, you run and come and help. This should not have happened. This has nothing to do with no bed syndrome. But
we believe that this was not the first time an event like this has happened. Committee reports were done, and the reports collected dust. And we want to ensure that this report does not collect dust, but is acted upon. It was for us a very sad reflection. You are a professional, you take a Hippocratic oath, you say I, and you mention Ajimambedua Kosa, and you swear to do that. That is not the establishment, that is not the hospital, that is not the facility. It is you, as a qualified practitioner, registered by the Medical and Dental Council. And therefore, you breached your care, your duty of care.
This is Current Agenda. I am Maltiti Sadiq. Now, this is live across board on GBC News, on social media, GTV Ghana, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. You're listening to us live across our 16 regional radio stations as well across the country. And I say if you're in Tamale, you're probably listening to us on Radio Savannah this morning. So that's about 2U. We're proudly sponsored by National Petroleum Authority, NPA, and the Bank of Africa. Now, this morning, I have lots of guests lined up for the various national issues that we'll be looking at. But we're going to begin with what you just watched, which is the Akosa Committee report and the issue of Amissah's death and what the committee probed and found out. I'm sure you've cited the GMA statement as well, calling for investment in infrastructure and healthcare systems. This morning at the table is the MP for NAPDAM, Dr. Nawaane, who also addressed the media and the generality of Ghanaians on the report and what happened and who the blame should be put at the doorstep of. Honorable, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Hope you're well.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
Yeah, and good morning to the viewers of GTV.
Absolutely.
Yes.
What do you make of the sentiments that are flying high as of now, after you address the media?
Well, let me first commend the Prof. Bedu Akosa's committee on the death of Charles Amissah, and say that for the first time, a committee that had been set up to investigate matters related to the no-bed syndrome. This is not the first time a committee has been set up. But this is the first time the committee has gone further to interview individuals and conclude that no, this issue does not end up with the hospital and then the facilities available, but it goes beyond that, and that the cause of death of the late Charles Amissah is medical negligence. And I've always suspected this, that look, we are a third world country. Ghana, we belong to these African countries and developing countries. Of course, now they say we are in the lower middle income level. But we have problems of infrastructure, which is common among all these countries. We have problems of equipping our hospitals. We have problems with human resource, etc. But should this lead to the death of somebody who has gotten a cut, an open cut at the arm, and bleeding externally for everybody to see? And he was able to live for 2 hours. And he was sent to health facilities. One at the police hospital. He was asked to go to another hospital, that is the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. He got there without tragedy. He was asked further to move to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. And at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, the ambulance staff said that, look, if you don't have a bed, let me give you our bed.
The stretcher.
The stretcher in the ambulance, and you do something about it. But asking us to move from Kolebu, which is at one part of the town, to University of Ghana Medical Center, which is also at a faraway place. Probably this patient might not be able to make it. So let's give you the stretcher, you do something about it. And this, for 70 minutes, they spent at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital without any intervention. And this patient dies, and we lump it up that it is because there was no bed. And as we speak now, a similar thing occurred at Kaswa, where our mother,
a
pregnant woman, after being admitted for 36 hours in a facility, when there was now the need for a cesarean section, a life-saving intervention, they said there was no bed in the recovery ward. And so I have always felt that no, there's something more to that. And indeed, when the committee read their report to the health committee, we had already been referred this case by the speaker to listen to.
You mean the Kaswa one? Or
no,
the Amissah one?
The Amissah one.
Okay.
So that tape being played is when they came to present to the health committee of Parliament. And look, honestly speaking, I always say that this is the brother of a health professional. The sister is a doctor. It could have been, I'm only assuming that those on duty, those who were working at that time, assuming that they brought your brother, your sister, your mother, at that hour, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock in the night, will you have subjected such a person to what this, the late Charles Amissah went through? Let us be frank with ourselves.
Right.
Yes, it is. We cannot be talking of the system and forget about the human factor, the human decisions that were taken at that time, and try to give reasons. Why such a decision? Why such a decision? Why is it that somebody is bleeding outside and you can't bring the person out and try to stop the bleeding? Try to set up an IV line.
So the first intervention was not something that demanded them to roll him into a theater immediately?
No. Okay. Most often the theater will even accept you if will accept a patient who can undergo probably anesthesia.
Okay.
So it needed resuscitation. Yes. And the resuscitation in this case needed, first and foremost, to try to stop the bleeding or try to reduce the bleeding and set up an IV line.
Okay.
And probably give IV fluids and, if possible, organize blood. In most smaller institutions, the blood organization could be a problem. But at Kolebu, probably they could have had 1 pint of blood to start with. And then from there, there was still time to know what to do. I don't know, but whatever I said, and there'll be a backlash from my own professional colleagues.
Absolutely.
And they have interpreted it to mean that I'm saying that they should quit the profession. Yes, but in the given circumstances, all that I wanted to say is this, that we might have to carry out self-auditing, an introspection of ourselves, and see if we can also do something about ourselves. If there's the need, you see, running night shifts, it's not everybody who likes it. Could a different decision have been taken to save the life of this person? Is there a need for some individuals to be shifted away, not dismissed, not you don't even have to wait for such decisions to be taken about you, or for a committee like this to be set up. But you can move to other areas, even in the medical profession, and allow people who are highly motivated to come and fill the space.
Okay.
But not necessarily that I'm saying that, no, you should just leave the medical profession. It's a very big profession with so many branches and specializations.
Right.
Say that it is not like they think that I'm saying that you leave the profession. No, it's not like that.
Okay. So that's what you sought to say.
Yeah.
Now, let's go through the report for a bit. Realize that the key findings, it's been established that Charles Amissah died of excessive loss of blood, which you have said, due to the right upper arm bone and soft tissue injuries causing damage to axillary and brachial arteries and veins following that road traffic accident. It's been established that it says that the death could have been avoided. Medical intervention at the police hospital, Ridge Hospital, or Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The application of compression on the laceration and packing of deeper wound during transportation in the ambulance, administration of intravenous fluids, which you just mentioned, an IV line in ambulance during transportation, administration of intravenous fluids and whole blood at the police hospital, Greater Accra Regional Hospital, or Kolebu Teaching Hospital. So what the ambulance, was the ambulance able to, meet the criteria, the necessary interventions?
Personally, I think that, well, we hope that we should be able to give training to our ambulance staff. We should try to get an upgradement for the ambulance staff. But majority of them, even after the training, they don't have the opportunity to practice what they have been trained. For example, setting up IV lines.
Okay.
On a collapsed person, or somebody who has bled for some time, the veins collapse. So it will be very difficult for somebody who is not a professional to probably set up a line. But they carried the person to a health facility. They got there.
Yes.
Where we had doctors and nurses who could have assisted each other.
But if they were professionals, if there were senior personnel in the ambulance, could they have done what the emergency, at least preempt what the emergency would have done? Because you can see inconsistent monitoring, recording of the vital signs, poor handover procedures, weak chain of command communication, inadequate trauma and emergency response skills, faulty equipment, issues with the blood pressure monitor. Did they communicate with the first facility they were taking him to and then thereafter the other facilities?
Look, I don't blame the ambulance staff. They were called and they got to the scene. They were able to get the person to the first facility within about 20 minutes or so.
Okay.
They were able to get to the first facility, and this person was still alive. I'm not saying that they could not have done something better, because if they had applied probably a tourniquet, but they packed the place, but probably the parking was not very good.
Okay.
But they did something. They got to the health facility with the patient still be alive. I think at the police hospital, the health professional asked the name of the patient and he mentioned his name.
Right.
Which means that
the patient mentioned his name himself.
Yes, that time he had somehow recovered from the post-traumatic shock that he went into. Who tells you that at that point, they could have assisted this patient and done further. The ambulance response they immediately came to the site of the accident. I don't want to blame the ambulance staff.
Even though you have highlighted that, they are not properly trained, or they are trained but they don't get to practice very well. It's also one avenue that has been used in politics for employment purposes, that people, how they go into the security services, so, jobs are promised, so people just want to go into somewhere, whether they have the zeal to work there or not.
There's always this tendency that when there's an issue, we are likely to deviate from the issue. I'm saying that subsequently, whenever there's an issue, let us look at the issue as it is. If I went to an accident site, let's say a lorry accident has occurred, and somebody has got a cut, and the person is bleeding out of it, just take it that at the accident site, you as a health professional, you get there. I believe that you try and do something. Let alone that patient be brought to a hospital. But if we have this, the lecturer's Amissah lying down on the street and bleeding, you can see it, not any internal bleeding. This one is external. I believe that as a health professional, you've got to do something about it. And yet this patient was carried to a first hospital, a second hospital, a third hospital. Within 2 hours, he lived and couldn't be attended to.
Right.
Let us look at that aspect and see how best we can improve the healthcare system. Yes.
Let me bring this one, the no-bed syndrome, up as well. No-bed syndrome and referral failures. The committee described the situation as a 180-minute fatal referral loop. Delays caused by claims of unavailable beds, contributing significantly to his death.
Whether there were beds or no beds, this patient could have been attended to. That is my argument. And it was demonstrated by the time they got to Kolebu, where now the ambulance staff even offered their stretcher to them. Attend to this patient here. You don't need a bed to set up an IV line. You don't need a bed to do hemotransfusion. You don't need a bed to ensure that you try to stop or reduce the external bleeding. You need him to lie somewhere else, and then you do this thing. And they offered their stretcher, and yet they were refused. That's what I'm saying, that these problems of the lack of beds, the no bed syndrome, is being used as an excuse to replace medical negligence. People who do not do their work. Reasons that I don't know.
What happens at night? Is the supervisory role, relaxed at night? There are supervisors throughout the day.
I worked at the Kolobut emergency in 1993.
Right.
And so at that time, we had no emergency physicians. That specialization probably was not yet available at the emergency. Okay. We used to run the place as house officers and then the residents. And whoever came, we took the person in and did what we were supposed to do. That time, there were no mobile phones, but we could still contact our residents because some of them they had these phones in their house.
The landline.
Yeah, the landline in their house. And whenever a house officer called, they had to rush and come. They were staying at the Kolebu flats and nearby. In the night, it doesn't take that long to actually get to the hospital when you are called. And I believe that now the situation is better. We have emergency physicians who are at the hospital. I'm not all at the hospital, but rarely in the ward, somewhere very close by. You can easily get your professional advice as a house officer, as a nurse, because such a doctor is there. And that is why, and today there are a lot more hospitals than it used to be. At that time, it was only Kolebu. And after 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, most of today's hospitals will close work and all their referrals will come.
To Kolebu?
Yes. We need to manage the space. There are times that we kept certain patients on the floor and removed other patients on the floor to the bed. Because at that point, the one on the floor was slightly better.
Okay.
Or the work we're supposed to do on that patient, we've been able to do it. And we can even continue with the IV fluid whilst he's lying on the floor. While we bring another one to the table so that when the patient is up, we can see the veins well and assess them than when the patient is on the floor. So we bring that patient to the bed, try to assess the veins and carry out our initial management and treatment.
Okay. And so in this case, the supervisors failed, Charles Amissah? Because you are talking about all these improvisatory methods that they could have used.
Yes.
And I want to believe it's not only relative to Ghana, as you mentioned.
Yes.
So what happened?
In this case, just like the committee stated, the human factor, the decisions of those on duty failed the late Charles Amissah. I'm saying this because there was something to be done, and they could have done it. This case is a case that would have ended with the orthopedic surgeon. I'm part of the system, so when I'm speaking, I believe that colleagues should have to understand. Yes, this patient is supposed to have ended up as a case for the orthopedic surgeons in a teaching hospital or in a regional hospital. That should be where the patient will end for probably repair or amputation or any other operation to save the patient's life. And there can be reasons for referral, but you don't refer a dead body. You don't refer a dead body. In view of that, there's the need to do resuscitation. To get the human being alive, make sure that He is alive and strong. And I'm saying that if you call an orthopedic surgeon in the night and tell him that this is the case that I've gotten, I, as the emergency physician or a junior doctor, a medical doctor who's working there, have been able to do this, that, and that this case is for surgery, I'm telling you that they will come.
Okay.
They will come.
Right.
And in the night, movement in Accra doesn't take more than 1 hour.
There's less traffic at night.
Yes, there's less traffic at night.
Okay.
They will come. I can vote for colleague medical professionals that whenever a junior doctor or a doctor at the emergency is in trouble and they call another doctor, I'm telling you, he's always willing and ready to come and assist.
All right. Let's look at the health professionals. Now, this is the issue and the contention that the GMA has given the report on, and is the health professionals who have been cited in this report. The committee found that several doctors and nurses failed in their professional and ethical duties and recommended disciplinary action against them. And those cited included Dr. Anne-Marie Kudowo at the Police Hospital, Dr. Nina Naomi Aram Adotevi at the Ridge Hospital, Dr. Ida Druant at Kolibu, Dr. Genevieve Aja Kolibu as well, along with 3 nurses from Ridge and Kolibu. Now, the report has mentioned those who failed to exercise professional and ethical judgment prudently by not attending to Charles Amissah in that life-threatening situation. Joy Daisy Nelson, Miss Joyce Daisy Nelson, was said to have failed to exercise ethical and professional judgment, leading to his death from the severe loss of blood. Salamatu Alasan, and I believe these are the 3 nurses cited in the report. Salamatu Alasan Aidu failing to also exercise ethical and professional judgment by not attending to Charles Amissah in that life-threatening condition at the Kolibu Teaching Hospital, leading to his death. And he concluded that the medical staff on duty at all the hospitals, as the Police Hospital, Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Ridge, and Kolibu Teaching Hospital, failed to attend to Charles Amissah when he was in a life-threatening condition, and this led to his avoidable death. They have made some recommendations of should be referred to the Police Hospital in MDC for disciplinary action against her for breach of professional duty to Charles Amissah. That's Dr. Anne-Marie, who is at the Police Hospital. The other doctors as well have been recommended for disciplinary action at their various hospitals. And so disciplinary action, establishment of a national electronic emergency bed management system. I've heard some pundits throw around the bed bank. Should we create a bed bank just like we have a blood bank? It says also broader reforms to Ghana's emergency health care system and disciplinary action against the staff. Doc, you know, aside from the fact that naming them, the GMA has said that they're coming under attacks, also the no bed syndrome keeps coming up among these 3 hospitals across the country. I remember the Tamale Teaching Hospital, there was a case where a guy also died. That one, they said there was a machine that was not working or sitting somewhere. And you remember the minister went there and there was a whole lot of brouhaha. Mentioning them in this report, could it have been avoided?
Well, this is the first time actually the names of health professionals have come out after a probe. And previously, after investigations, it was left with the health facility and then to carry out measures to ensure that they work properly. But this committee went further to exonerate even health facilities, but named individuals. Let's look at the past. When the issue was just that they would just say at Tamale Teaching Hospital, this has happened. We need to buy more equipment for Tamale Teaching Hospital. in Accra here, oh, it's Kulebu. Let the management make sure that it works and all those sort of things. Has it worked for the system?
So we're naming them because past reports,
recommendations... Because we have not made progress. And even as we're talking about the late Charles Amissah's case, another case happens. It's too much for the health system. We must now start to let people be answerable as individuals for their actions and inactions. In this particular case, it was an inaction. Nothing was done. I'm a medical doctor myself. I've practiced for 33 years.
And so you won't begrudge the system if you were named in the reports like this?
If I did something on the patient and the outcome was bad, let's say you can do something,
right?
The outcome can be bad. And they are naming me, probably I wouldn't be happy.
Okay.
But for me to turn my back on a patient, then I am simply not carrying out the ethics of the profession is being compromised. Our share of the Hippocratic oath is not being followed. So let us see the difference. There's a difference here. Yes, and I'm saying that if something has been done, you can do something to a patient, yes, carry out a procedure, attend to a patient, accept the patient, try to do something, and the outcome is bad.
Okay.
And I've seen so many instances where the doctors are being lambasted here and there for carrying out a procedure, a legitimate procedure on a patient, and the outcome is bad, and so the people are not happy.
Okay.
Yes,
so,
but
ultimately, they should have done something.
For inaction.
Inaction. Now, these persons mentioned, will you be surprised if there's a lawsuit against, the facilities, the committee, to prove their innocence, that they did not do what the committee report is citing that they did?
With that one, I believe it is their right.
Okay.
Yes, because the committee had a number of personalities, like Professor Bidu Akosa, Dr. Winnie Williams. I can mention so many other professionals. And they've submitted their report. The report, I believe, before it was made public, they were also made aware of the findings of the committee. What the GMA should be doing now is probably I've seen the GMA has come in. Yes, they are the defenders of the profession, and they can ask for mitigation.
Okay.
Yes, and with the individuals, if you are not happy about any part of the report, you can ask them to expunge it.
Okay.
Apart from taking legal action, you can even request for a review of the committee's report.
Okay.
Yes.
You've heard sentiments that Charles Amissah's family may also take legal action against these three health facilities because it's been established that he did not die of natural, occurrences.
I don't know, but it is within their rights to seek whatever redress that they want to. But like I'm saying, we need to learn lessons from this. This is not the first time it has occurred, and that's why people are thinking that it is witch hunting. But in actual fact, this is the first time that a comprehensive report has been made public, and the Minister of Health promised that he is not going to hide any report.
And from this report onwards, is that how comprehensive we're going to be in reports on alleged medical negligence? Because the system is still the system, and the people are still
I'm hoping that if this direction will let this medical negligence stop, I'm hoping that then it should be like that. But if, of course, we're going to be covering up things here and there, and it will continue to okay. The next time it will be no bed here. We have got so many hospitals now in Accra here.
And I ask again, we shouldn't give any oxygen to the bed bank or creating a buffer for hospitals?
The oxygen?
Bed, no bed.
Oh, yeah, no, that is part of the solutions. Electronic management of hospital beds means that there's going to be a center that will objectively be able to say that there's a bed or no bed.
Okay. Which the ambulance people, ambulance people would have known before taking him to the range or not.
Yes.
Okay.
When you are certain, when they call you and you're supposed to go, you look at the available beds on your computer, and say that no, we don't have a bed at Kolebu, but 37 have got a bed. Okay. So let's send him there. Or something like that. It will be good for the country.
And you don't think that there'll be a time that they may all be out of beds? It can happen simultaneously?
Currently, I'm telling you that what we need to do is to set up an emergency fund.
Okay.
To manage medical emergencies. I don't know how we are going to do it. Will it be just a standing fund by itself, or could associate it with the Mahama case, or some other fund, such that hospitals are assured that within 24 hours of taking in a patient, if you can identify the patient, and so the patient is not able to pay, from this fund you can apply for your money, or from this fund money will be made available to you if you can prove that you've really taken care of a patient that whose identity or who could not pay. If we have such a fund, I'm telling you, there are even private hospitals in Accra here that can provide services.
Because, you know, that's been a problem. People, they leave them at the OPD and they ask for where their health insurance is. If they don't find a card on them, they say they have to pay. Some health workers would insist that they pay before to buy the book, the OPD book.
The OPD
card before they even administer any care. Yes. We've heard reports of that.
Yes, it's something that it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act, and so the outpatient department also have nurses there, who the way somebody is being brought in is part of diagnosis. You can diagnose a patient the way the patient is being carried in.
Okay.
So with the way the patient is being carried in, sometimes you don't even have to ask for card. You only ask where, and then send the person to emergency.
All right.
Straight away.
Whether you know the person can pay or not.
Can pay or not. Straight to emergency for emergency care. So it will be better for the system if the hospitals who are providing this care know that in the worst scenario, where the patient cannot pay, they will be reimbursed.
Okay, from that fund.
From that fund.
That you are saying.
Then we have, the Bank of Ghana Hospital, very elaborate and good hospital.
Right.
We have the University of Ghana Medical Center. We have the Maritime Hospital, and so many other hospitals.
Right. Now, the ambulance staff, I go back to that again, because Titus Bale said also that all they do is pick and dump. And you talked about the training, more training. What would you recommend, in addition to what the report has said, for the ambulance staff? Because the system seems overwhelmed. So,
definitely, we need to upgrade our ambulance staff. And so they should also be able to use life-saving equipment, like defibrillators and other equipment. They should be able to use it. So I'm not trying to defend actually what the ambulance
staff did.
But I believe that they can say that, yes, that's what I know, and I did it to the best of my ability. Like John Sebastian Bach when he wrote his water music in the 15th century. When you can always say that this is what I could have done, this is what I know, this is what I could have done. I believe the ambulance staff who rushed to the scene within some few minutes and were able to get the man alive at the hospital can, say that, yes, this is what I know, this is what, I've practiced.
But for best practices,
but like I'm saying, they really need training. So we need to probably, this training should not be only for the ambulance staff. I know that in a place like Canada, there's a training, first aid training certificate that even some ordinary work require you to know that it require you to have that first aid training certificate before they employ you. At the mines, those days in the 1970s, when my father, who was an electric man, working at the mine underground.
Right.
They underwent first aid training because anything that happens underground, they were supposed to do, anybody they're supposed to help another person, and then later on they will bring the person up and send to the hospital. So it was compulsory for you to qualify as a senior staff to do first aid training.
Okay.
We should set up, like how I've set up computer centers and we're training people in computer and other
coding.
Yes.
Emergency care training. For the general public.
For the general public.
Okay.
And some of the factories, some of the establishments, chemical industries.
Right.
Drivers. Drivers.
At the transport station.
At the transport station. It should be compulsory to them. I mean, we can teach it in the local language. It's not something that we need to teach it in English. No.
Okay.
What you can do, we can teach it in the local language. Certificate people. And when you are going to employ a driver, ask whether he has got a first aid certificate.
And so I saw also the Kenya State Government Hospital decrying infrastructure. They mentioned how few beds they have at the maternity ward. So I would ask, is there a general audit that is done when a government takes over of the health infrastructure across the board?
As a country with a growing population, there is always the need for us to increase our bed capacity. And even for a hospital that used to have, let's say, 10 beds and 20 beds, and it was enough, after some time you've got to increase the bed capacity. Kenya is a mining area now. A lot of people have gone to settle over there, and so the hospital cannot take care of. But having said this, I want to appeal to the Electricity Company of Ghana in the Ashanti region and Central region.
Okay.
They are disconnecting mission hospitals. At least they've disconnected some of them.
Why?
Because of their inability to pay electricity bill. We are talking of no beds. I'm only bringing this in, So the no beds is not only government being able to provide, but when you disconnect a hospital, you are getting the whole of that area. Their beds out, because when without electricity, the hospital is going to shut down.
Right.
And the Minister of Health, Honorable Minta Kando, has written to the Minister of Energy. I have evidence of that letter.
Okay.
And saying that the Czech hospitals or the mission hospitals should be part of the exemption from disconnection.
Okay.
And the Minister of Energy has replied to the letter referring to a cabinet decision that should be the case. And yet, as we complain that there are no beds, as we complain that the system is tight, we have some other people sitting somewhere else.
Okay.
Disobeying their ministers.
Right. So the ECG should come to an understanding with the mission hospitals over revenue collection.
Their ministers have done it.
Okay.
So
right.
Why disobey your?
All right.
You know the top.
Okay. We have to go. And so your final comments on the child's Amissah issue.
My final comments probably have to do with whatever statement that I made, that my health professionals are unhappy with. I want them to understand that it wasn't meant to mean that they should quit the profession. It wasn't meant to mean that, or it wasn't meant to slight them. But what I wanted to say is that they probably have to do an introspection of themselves and see how best next time they can help somebody like that.
Right. Thank you so much, Doc. We're grateful for your time, and we'll definitely be following keenly what you're doing in Parliament, the Health Committee, and after the Amissah report, the recommendations and how they are being followed to the letter. His MP for NAPDAM, the Honourable Dr. Mark Keds Nawaane. He has been my guest this morning on Current Agenda. We still have big issues coming up. Bank of Ghana losses, ex-finance minister Dr. Amin Adam calling out IMF, buffer stock CEO or ex-CEO and wife rearrested. What's the new evidence? We're back with more. Do stay.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
Stay back and stay safe. The National Petroleum Authority is cautioning the public to desist from scooping or fetching fuel from overturned fuel tankers at accident scenes. Do not get closer to the scene in an attempt to take videos or pictures. Inhaling the petroleum product is detrimental to your health. Worst of all, petroleum products are volatile and highly flammable, and a small spark can trigger a catastrophic explosion, causing deaths and loss of property. Call the Ghana Fire Service or Ghana Police personnel to handle the scene, or reach the National Petroleum Authority's contact center on 0302 550 380. Your life is worth more than a gallon of fuel. This Save a Life campaign is from the National Petroleum Authority.
It's the FIFA World Cup. USA, Canada, and Mexico 2026. The euphoria is mounting due to the expanded format, the countries hosting it, and of course, the stars to parade at the biggest world sporting event. The Road to the World Cup show is here to answer all your questions about the qualification format, the rationale behind the expansion in participating countries, and all other information around the FIFA World Cup 2026. Catch the road to the FIFA World Cup 2026 show live on GTV Sports Plus every Tuesday, Thursday and Friday at 8 p.m. Seasoned sports stakeholders and stars will be engaged on the show to serve you the best FIFA World Cup details on the road to the FIFA World Cup 2026 show. Remember, it's Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. Don't miss out. America, Canada and Mexico. Here we come. Brought to you by
Hisense. Everyday prices for everyday people.
Mofa Production presents the World Cup Soccer Fiesta 2026. A breathtaking 30 minutes, 15-part documentary series on the history of the World Cup from 1930 to 2026. Join me as we waltz through 96 years of fascinating soccer history through gripping archival footage of the stars of yesteryears. Giuseppe Meazza, Fritz Walter, Franz Beckenbauer, and the incomparable Pelé. And the stars of today, Ciro and Lionel Andrea Messi. The scintillating segments will blow your mind. Facts 5. Team news and updates, travel log, a dedicated YouTube channel, Soccer Fiesta Series TV, and an eye-catching all-star tribute to Ghana's musical legend, Daddy Lumba. With the top World Cup 200 Abingwaha goals. This series will throb and vibrate with World Cup culture, music, fun zone, dance moves, team kits and dress code, and guests who will be passing through our celebrity red carpet. Be interactive with us on Facebook, X, otherwise known as Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, and win excellent prizes on our quiz competition. It's the World Cup Soccer Fiesta 2026. Showing live on GTV Sports Plus on Wednesdays at 8:30 and on GTV Main on Saturdays at 8:30. With yours truly, sponsors, media partners.
Cautioning the public to desist from scooping or fetching fuel from overturned fuel tankers at accident scenes. Do not get closer to the scene in an attempt to take videos or pictures. Inhaling the petroleum product is detrimental to your health. Worst of all, petroleum products are volatile and highly flammable, and a small spark can trigger a catastrophic explosion, causing deaths and loss of property. Call the Ghana Fire Service or Ghana Police personnel to handle the scene, or reach the National Petroleum Authority's contact center on 0302 550 380. Your life is worth more than a gallon of fuel. This Save a Life campaign is from the National Petroleum Authority.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
You're welcome back to the show. This is Current Agenda on Ghana Television. I am Maltiti Sadiq, and a big thank you to our sponsors, National Petroleum Authority and the Bank of Africa, for bringing us this show every Saturday. My guests have gathered at the table and paneled for the issues we'll be looking at. On my immediate left is Professor Isaac Boydu. He's Dean, Faculty of Accounting and Finance, UPSA, and Director, Institute of Economic Research and Public Policy. Good morning, Prof.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you.
Okay. At the table as well is Theophilus Chimega Jr. He's a lawyer, member of NDC's legal team. Chimega, good morning. Welcome back to the table.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm well. Hope you're well.
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, and Enoch Afrakwa is member of the NPP's legal team as well. He's a lawyer. Mr. Afrakwa, morning.
Good morning,
Hope you're well.
Very good morning to you.
Absolutely. We're live on GTV Ghana on social media. You can watch us there. Our website, gbcghanaonline.com, across all our regional radio stations across the country. You can listen to us live there. Gentlemen, we will be diving into the rearrest of a former NAFCO CEO and the 78 million Ghana cedis case, but I want to give you a minute each on the Charles Amissah report. We're speaking to the Honorable Nawaane, who is, in Parliament, and he was talking of the reports that the committee brought out on what led to the death of Mr. Charles Amissah. Let me begin with Lawyer Fuakwa on this. You cited the report. Some health professionals have been indicted. No bed syndrome has been thrown in there. Health facilities, systemic issues. What do you make of this?
And to use your August platform to extend the greetings of His Excellency Dr. Alhaji to the good people of this country. It is indeed, the New Patriotic Party is still in a reorganization. Currently, we are undertaking our polling station elections.
Okay.
I believe most of the polling stations have gone through their vetting. The elections are set to be held next week.
Okay, I want you to hold your fire. I'll come back to you for you to say that again, but Lord Jimega, let me bring you in on this.
Then be certain on
yes.
On
Unless you have a word on the reconstitution of the NPP, but the Amissah report. I'm sure
yes,
you've
of
seen
course,
the Ghana Medical Association report.
Of course, last afternoon I helped secure an injunction on the Akim Swedru constituency polling station election. A party that says that they are apostles of democracy and they cannot stick to their own guidelines. And the court has restrained.
Is this about the NPP?
Yeah. It's about the NPP polling station, election.
Yes, so on the Amissah.
Yes, so yes, that's what I'm saying. If you want me, I will talk on that one.
The Amissah.
Yes, the Amissah one. I think this should be a wake-up call for us. My dad told me that for the vulture, when it's raining, the vulture will say, as soon as the rain is over, I'll build a nest. And after the rain is over, the vulture says, it never rains. And my dad told me that it looks like we behave like that here. An issue happens and we all say, oh, we'll fix it. Once the wind blows and it's gone, then we forget until the next incident happens before.
But this particular recommendation is different. People have been named, unlike the usual.
People being named, etc., doesn't make it that the structures or the things that cause this will go away with the naming of the people. I have a problem with the naming of the people. I have a case currently in court that is relying on similar report by the Ghana Health Service that just made a statement. And the victim sort of pick it and say, oh, Ghana Health Service has made this statement. So that is it. So they made categorical statements as if the people are very guilty, etc. That, to me, as a lawyer, is a bit disturbing.
Right.
But maybe until we see what goes in or what went into the report, we won't be able to conclude one way or the other. My take on all this is that let us fix the system. The no bed syndrome does not appear to be there is no physical bed. They give a litany of things. It could be that somebody is about to end shift and they don't want to accept anybody. It could be that there's no physical bed. It could be that there's nobody to attend to the person. A lot of things that were called no bed. Let us fix it. We are in the modern age now. We shouldn't have things that were bedeviling our country in the 1960s.
All right. Thank you, Lord Jimega. And let me come to Prof. Brady. Prof, you have a word on the alleged medical negligence with the Charles Amissah's death.
Yes, this is a very sensitive issue. So when we're discussing it publicly, you should be mindful of the family going through such a trauma at this stage. So our words will be measured in terms of what we say, because a young man, and I hear he was an engineer, and the father has been supporting even other medical facilities.
Right.
And he met his untimely death, and ambulance arrives a few minutes to pick him up, got to the hospital, moved from major hospital from Rich to Kolebu and to, I think,
police hospital.
3 different hospitals, and could not be saved. And today we scratch the issues surface and then we go back to bed. It's quite sensitive, and I also want to say that those who have been named, the law should have its own course. But this should be one last thing that the country should record. And on the other platforms, I have seen several accounts of issues that we have produced reports, kept those reports, the chefs, nothing happened. Give yourself next week, this issue will not be discussed again. We go back. But the lesson from the issue for me is one, balancing public accountability against professional, protecting our professionals. That is where the debate is. How do we balance this? Ghana Medical Association have also issued a statement that they were not happy naming those people in that. For me, the question I also asks, have we exhausted the process? If you have not exhausted the process, why did we give the names out now? So we need to find a way, balance the act well.
Okay. Let me bring in La Frapa now.
Maltiti is a worrying trend. And this is the issue of a person who even has a medical practitioner in his family. By the way, let me extend our condolences to the family of the bereaved and wish the dead eternal rest. The death of this young man should serve as a wake-up call as far as medical negligence in our country is concerned. And the state cannot be exonerated as far as these occurrences are concerned. We had the issue of no-bed syndrome. The previous government under Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo started the agenda 111 district hospitals, culminating into the construction and refurbishment of over 111 district hospitals. And you know the status of a district hospital has almost all facilities that are capable of sustaining life. If, as a country, we are able to move on that path, we believe that the issue of no-bed syndrome, where lies that our major referral facilities or our major hospitals will not be cluttered with a lot of patients that when an emergency occurs, there will be no bed to accommodate the said patient. Under the circumstances, the state should really look at the critical investments that will protect the lives of ordinary citizens in this country. What is the status of the Agenda 1 district hospitals? This incident of this young man, as he has died as a Messiah, should wake us up as a country and rethink of continuity as far as the construction and completion of projects started by previous administrations are concerned. We were told by the health minister that they have budgeted for the completion, I think, is it 7 hospitals or so. Currently, we don't know the status of those hospitals. If you go to a hunter, I am told that at the time of leaving office, the NPP leaving office, it was almost completed. It was almost completed. But what is the status now? For getting to 2 years now, nothing is being done about the Ahanta Agenda 1 district hospital. And a couple of others. Talk of the ones in the Ashanti region. And a whole lot of others are even at the stage of completion that we need just little touch to operationalize these hospitals. And because it was started by the previous administration, government has turned a blind eye to this. And Ghanaians, ordinary people, are dying. Ordinary people, ordinary citizens are maiming for life. This calls for social accountability. It calls for real social accountability, that the people of this country must demand accountability as far as their taxes are concerned. Because hitherto, we shouldn't be observing the occurrences of these negligence matters. We may blame the health workers, but sometimes we cannot put all the blame at their doorsteps. Because if there were beds, I believe that they could have done better, though. But if there were beds, this incident wouldn't have occurred. Similarly, we must do better. The health minister, Mr. Akando, Honorable Akando, should address this nation and tell us the status of these Agenda 1 hospitals, the no-bed syndromes, address measures to curtail it. When you were speaking with my senior brother, Dr. Ket Nawaane, you know, he has been a staunch practitioner. I know his facilities in Dunka and the central region and other places. Wasai, Krupon, and those areas. He mentioned that lack of human resource. We cannot in this 21st century say that Ghana, as we stand now, with graduate unemployment associations pending, multiplying their numbers day in and day out, continue to talk about human resource. How many nurses are home looking for employment? Even with the 2021 batch of nurses that they say they are employing, they're over 15,000. But government is able to even employ just about 7,000. That's what we are told. What happens to 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025? 2026 students will be coming out again. Look at the graduates from the various universities. So it is not about human resource issues, but it's about states investing in priority areas where lies the citizens of this country will be massively protected.
Thank
you.
The
then MPP administration thought of these things and promoted the Agenda 1 district hospitals.
Okay,
we pray that His Excellency the President focuses and directs his energies and attention to this area to protect the lives of the ordinary citizens of this country.
You mentioned
we are suffering too much.
They are Hunter one as well, and I'm sure that they've taken Lawyer Jamaica. I have to move to the buffer. So yes.
A minute on an issue that has happened, not about. I mean,
but he decided to use his minute.
I don't think that
to talk about
the
Agenda 111.
Please, when you were talking, I was so quiet. I was so quiet. When you were talking, I was so quiet. Let us. I will have to draw you in. It's not you are not uni on the program. We are all here. I can't talk without remember. Yeah, I know. But let's say to the ground rules. If there is heckling, it's not on the program alone to say that he shouldn't be drawn in. No. If you are on the program alone, then let's organize the program for you alone. Then you talk. Nobody talks about.
Be our focus. You want to respond to.
Yes, I want to respond. There are certain persons or certain issues people of NPP shouldn't talk about. They shouldn't talk about. If this had been fixed prior to they leaving the office, the issues he's talking about didn't occur just by a second. When they started Agenda 111 hospital, we were told that it will be completed before they will leave office. How many were completed before they left office? The Afariwan hospital in Ashanti and Bono area, what happened to it? He shouldn't be here and be saying that they were going to finish, or if they had finished, they are suffering. Ghanaians are suffering. Suffering today? Maybe he was not in Ghana then.
Thank you, you've had your time. Let me introduce Austin Bracco Powers, private legal practitioner, and I love that Bracco is always on the show, brings the balance. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Maltiti.
How are you doing? Well. Fine.
I like your outfit.
Thank you, and I like your smoke as well. Okay, gentlemen, let's head straight into it. And we're talking about Bank of Ghana losses and also the Buffer Stock CEO rearrested. And so we know that in that high-profile case, the state dropped the criminal charges against the former NAFCO CEO, Hanan Abdul Wahab Aludiba, and his co-accused in that alleged 78 million cedis loss case, only to re-arrest them moments after their discharge. And the prosecutors now cite fresh evidence linking to procurement and supply under the school feeding program. What exactly has been uncovered is what we want to find out, and why will they abandon the first case only to open a fresh one again? Let me begin with Lawyer Jamaica on this.
Yes, good morning again to your viewers. This is not anything new. And this is not the first time prosecutions have started and the prosecutors drop the charge, rearrest, and bring in fresh charges. You see, our laws are such that, for example, you cannot keep somebody indefinite when you have just a tip of the iceberg of your investigation. You have a lot to go into. Now, for the fact that you don't want to hold a person, a lot of the time, prosecutors quickly charge you, take you to court, then the court grants you bail, etc., or the court remands you, then they take their time to conduct investigation. So the idea about the buffer stock one is not anything new. It is something that any lawyer who has ever taken part in criminal defense or criminal prosecution will know that it happens. You only pray it doesn't happen at your before you. So for them to have arrested, dropped the charges and rearrest them, it happens all the time, including the era of those who are complaining today. It has happened all over the time. But the idea...
struggling to find evidence to keep them arrested? That's why...
I'm coming to explain something to you. For example, if you are being prosecuted for causing harm, then that harm maybe also led to murder. And you start to prosecute on harm, and you realize that there is murder now. You can drop the harm charge and rearrest the person and prosecute the person for murder. Because if you prosecute the person for harm, and let's say the person is jailed for 20 years, and there's also death, murder, that will be life, and you come back, the person will say, I've already been prosecuted on the same facts and the same circumstances. So why didn't you prosecute me when you have the totality of all this? The courts will not allow you to do that, to do piecemeal prosecution of the person. So when in the course of the prosecution you realize that new and fresh things that were hitherto not present, and indeed, even as any other person, you take your charge sheet, prosecution starts, and you realize that this is an error somewhere. You, even the defense lawyer, the prosecutors are also lawyers, and they realize that there is an error, there is an omission. What then do we do? Let us withdraw this, drop it, and bring in fresh charges. Nothing has really happened. Yes, you can say that the rights of the accused to go to this court, come back to this one, is all being violated because as a result of the time they are wasting. But it is all part of the prosecution gymnastics. So for me, I don't actually see the hue and cry about what it is that they were arrested, they were charged, they were being prosecuted, then they dropped because they were struggling. It is not the struggling. Let us allow the process to continue. Then whatever evidence they have, they'll be presented. I heard the former Attorney General saying that no new evidence has been shown to them. Hardly do you go for investigation and they show you the evidence. Who shows evidence at that investigation?
Okay.
Who shows evidence? They go to get to investigate you, interrogate you, gather as much as they can, compare it with what they have, talk to other sources, and present evidence in court. That's what happens. Okay. So you shouldn't be saying that, oh, they didn't get any evidence today, so as a result of that, they are struggling to get evidence.
Because the lawyers say that the AG has been lying, you know, in how he's handling this matter. And I want us to take a listen to the Deputy AG on this, and then we'll come back.
Does not infringe on the rights of the accused persons. Justice Francis Achibonga, in a ruling, held that the Attorney General had the prerogative to initiate, continue or truncate a criminal trial. Reacting to accusations by Godfred Yeboadame that the office of the Attorney General is abusing its prosecutorial powers, the Deputy Attorney General refuted the claims and urged Dame not to be dramatic.
Fresh evidence means you have discovered something new. As to whether that will lead to new charges or will beef up the prevailing charges or will even change some of the charges, that is why we need to interrogate and confirm with the accused person, particularly his side of the story, before we push forward. We cannot just bring evidence. It is part of the criminal procedure to interrogate accused persons whenever you have what? Fresh evidence. I don't know why this has become an issue for the former Attorney General, who should know better, you know, to be lamenting on across the country and all radio stations, calling to TV station and making the same point. When we were withdrawing the charges, he was on our side. He even told the judge that he is familiar, he did a lot of withdrawals, to the extent that even the co-accused counsel was talking to the two of us and said that we were politicians.
Okay, and that's Justice Rimsai addressing the media there. And so let me go to Lawyer Fakwa now. The former AG is saying that they didn't even have access to their clients after they were rearrested by Yoko. And Lawyer Jimega is saying that you can rearrest somebody if, you know, you realize later that the charges, you have to add more charges to it. This time, procurement issues.
Yeah, I am extremely surprised that my learned brother will say this. In fact, the power of arrest is not in vacuum. That the power of arrests of the police is a matter of law, and that the police just can't arrest, but they must inform the accused person why they are arresting the accused person. As to whether or not the arresting officers of Yoko did say it's a matter for interrogation another day. You see, Maltiti, this extrajudicial handling of former government appointees under the NPP must be looked at critically. This is the same person, Hanan Abdul Wahab, and his wife, Faiza, who were arrested and detained for several weeks on some onerous bail conditions, standing at about 60-something million Ghana cedis and the likes. Hanan, if I remember, was in the custody of Yoko for more than 2 weeks. Whereas his sureties were scouting to get properties to stand in, to justify his bail conditions. The late Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayeni, organized his press conference. The Rambo, the Rambo in the Rambo or something, if you remember, condemned these people that Oral has set off, described them in a manner that were prejudicial. At the time, they were not even charged. Just to start to file a charge against them before the courts. This matter has been pending before the court for almost a year now. For us to be told that the AG has withdrawn charges and the matter has been struck out as withdrawn. Just immediately, the matter was struck out as withdrawn, where the accused persons were discharged by the court. They were rearrested, detained, and taken through the same procedure as they were handled previously. You see, let me remind the NDC that the Attorney General should not only be interested in prosecution, because he has a dual role or a dual functionality. He's an Attorney General and Minister of Justice. This is two different competing functions that the Constitution has granted this honorable person. So in as much as he's looking at his prosecutorial powers under Article 88.3, he shouldn't forget his mandate as a Minister of Justice. You see, you take a person through, an accused person through this process, where the person has expended resources. The human rights of these same people have been bruised beyond recognition, as if they are not Ghanaians. And these are their inalienable rights as members of this noble republic. Having taken them through this, you restart again because your disclosures, acts filed before the court then, you think, cannot constitute, cannot guarantee you the said convictions that you were looking for. Because the defense counsels pointed out some mistakes. And at a point, I am told that they were trying to smuggle some new witness statements which they have not sought the leave of the court. That occasioned the withdrawal. Because when the issues were raised before the court, that the AG is introducing new witness statements, of which they have not sought leave of the court to do same. Because in the case of the Republic versus Bafuboni, the Supreme Court succinctly stated a procedure under which a fair trial can be said to have been made. That the material evidence that the prosecution is relying on to prosecute the accused persons must be set on the accused persons to prepare their defense. And having set all these materials on the accused persons, i.e. their lawyers, and having started case management conferences, you then see the loopholes in your case, the weakness in your case, that you cannot sustain a conviction. Then you withdraw and come and tell the people of this republic in a gendarme manner that new evidence or new what. In a gendarme manner. Maltiti, this is a gendarme manner. Because Yoko has done this investigation for several months before the accused persons were arrested. The accused persons have spent more time, whether or not in lawful custody or not, because it wades into the arena of human rights violations. Because Article 14 states clearly that when a person is arrested, restricted, or detained, within 48 hours, if they are not granted bail by the police, they are ought to be arraigned before a court of competent jurisdiction to determine their liberty. As to whether or not Yoko, an institution with arresting powers, has a mandate to say, I have granted you bail in this sum, whether or not you are able to meet same or not, you're going to stay in lawful in custody becomes lawful. It's a matter of course for the Supreme Court of the Republic of Ghana to give clarity to this this procedure. But this is what has been happening to former government appointees. This is what has been happening. And we are told by the Defense Counsel, no mean person than the former Attorney General, that as lawyers for Mr. Hanan and Pfizer, my learned senior, what's his name? Evidence. Obuo, Eko are saying they were denied access to see their clients.
In the 48 hours.
After they were rearrested.
Okay. Yes, I'm seeing that the lawyers were saying that they've been denied access.
I am not representing Mr. Hanan.
And they are interrogating them without the lawyers, and that's illegal as well.
An accused person, knowing very well that they have full legal representation, interrogate them without their lawyers.
Okay.
Does that amount to a fair trial?
Could it be because of the new charges that have been brought against them?
Does not warrant that if the person is represented, you prevent, you use bureaucratic means to prevent the legal representation of the accused persons from assessing their clients, and you go ahead to speak with their client. Do you remember the issue of the Japan matters when the ambulance trial was ongoing? That the former AG had a conversation with Mr. Japan outside his lawyers, and it became an issue in this country. So how can Yoko, being in court with Mr. Hanan and his wife, with their lawyers present, having discharged them pursuant to your withdrawal of charges against them, then rearresting them, you deny their lawyers access to them? What is the Rambo in the jungle? What is the Rambo in the jungle? Are they creating new rules for us? But Maltiti, let the NDC be guided that we pray that the express highway that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama it's fortified in constructing for the people of this country, which we pray that he actualized this dream. We all will drive through that express highway. So the precedent they are setting is a precedent to guide all of us as a people of this republic. Because in the future, you remember when the Cocoa scandal, the former CEO, what's his name, Mr. Opuni and co, said they were granted self-recognizance bail, even in this high-profile matter. Under this regime, bail conditions are set at patronage sums of about 800 million cedis against Mr. Osesibe entry, the former Director General of the National Service Authority. 800 million Ghana cedis. What is his equity? And what are the equities of the ordinary people in this republic who are willing to stand as sureties for these people? And the purpose of bail is to ensure the attendance of the accused persons in court. And if you set these conditions, then apparently you are telling us that you are actualizing what Section 96(4) of the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act of 1960 at 30 frowns on, that the court should not withhold bail as a form of punishment against accused persons. So apparently, once you set on reasonable bail conditions, then you are telling the accused person that you are going to stay in custody throughout the trial and that you are not going out. And this amount to punishment against the accused persons who are presumed innocent under Article 19(2)(c) of our Constitution. An accused person is presumed innocent until he has pleaded guilty or has been proven guilty beyond all reasonable doubt. So if the person has pleaded not guilty, the burden lies on the state
to prove
whose disclosures were faulty and could not support convictions to prove their case before the court.
All right.
And this is what we are talking about.
Lawyer Bracco Powers.
Before you bring back
Lawyer Jamaica. No, I want
you to play the tape where
Bracco Powers, and then I'll come back to you for your rebuttal.
Oh, please, let's have some civility.
Lawyer Papa. Lawyer Jamaica. Lawyer Jamaica. Lawyer Jamaica.
Please. Let him withdraw.
Please.
He has not got command.
Let's have civility on this platform.
Lawyer Papa, please do not. Please.
Very bad language or foul language.
It's not bad language
against a colleague lawyer. I am
bad
using.
When you were talking and I just came in, you said I should stop. So please, it's your show. Control him.
It's in bad taste for him. So please do not. Please do not use that word again. Please do not use the civility word again. Please do not use the civility. Bracco Powers. Bracco, no. Do not. No. It is not acceptable. Lawyer Jamaica. No. Lawyer Fakwa.
On the program before. Have you ever seen me do on the program before? No. No, you have never seen me this way.
Lawyer Papa, you used it once, twice, he got agitated, and you still used it again. Please withdraw. Okay, please just withdraw. Please withdraw civility, and so that we can make progress. Lawyer Papa.
I said you are
Lawyer Papa.
quiet.
For you, there's no fault, but he takes offense to it. As a colleague lawyer, he takes offense to it with the word civility. Please use a synonym. A synonym. Lawyer Papa. Lawyer Papa. There's a synonym. Lawyer Papa. There's a synonym. No, Lawyer Jimega. Lawyer Jimega. Lawyer Jimega. Lawyer Jimega. To hell is not accepted at the table as well. That's why I'm asking Lawyer Papa to withdraw the civility. Yes, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Lawyer Papa. Okay.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
Stay back and stay safe. The National Petroleum Authority is cautioning the public to desist from scooping or fetching fuel from overturned fuel tankers at accident scenes. Do not get closer to the scene in an attempt to take videos or pictures. Inhaling the petroleum product is detrimental to your health. Worst of all, petroleum products are volatile and highly flammable, and a small spark can trigger a catastrophic explosion, causing deaths and loss of property. Call the Ghana Fire Service or Ghana Police personnel to handle the scene, or reach the National Petroleum Authority's contact center on 0302 550 380. Your life is worth more than a gallon of fuel. This save a life.
Hallelujah. National President ni executive for that Aglo International no Tunsafro Bibia the this month's edition of the monthly intercessory press for Ghana and Paibon Shemu Ase. Ya today, Grace and Mercy. A bus for Memneda 16th May 2026 for Black Star Square Crime and a panel song 7 a.m. prompt. Theme: Grace, Mercy and Peace from God be on Ghana. 2 John chapter 1 verse 3. Adom mobrohunu any asunjia e free onyanko ponche emra Ghana so. Fawa fadie bia brebi. Kaisa busumi a ban on drumming and noise making. Yamachene enti emfa vuvuzela, whistle, tambourine, drums, and I be bia de emaho. Onia, come and be blessed. Be aglow for Jesus.
The Attorney General on Tuesday, May 4, withdrew all charges against former Chief Executive Officer of the National Food and Buffer Stock Company Limited, NAFCO, Hanan Abdul Wahab Aludiba, his wife Faiza Seiduwuni, and 3 others. The withdrawal came less than a week after the trial court struck out 2 new witness statements filed by the Office of the Attorney General without leave of the court. The court had held that the 2 witness statements, which sought to replace existing ones, should have been filed with the leave of the court as per the practice on the disclosures in criminal trials, given the fact that the prosecution had concluded its case management. Hanan Abdul Wahab and Faiza Seiduwuni were subsequently discharged by the court, but were immediately rearrested on the corridor by officers from the Narcotics Control Commission and Economic and Organized Crime Office and taken into custody. Former Attorney General Godfred Yeboadame, who is counsel for Abdul Wahab, said irrespective of the number of times the accused are rearrested, they will be freed as many times. Abdul Wahab, his wife, together with Richard Sam Asante, who is said to be on the run, the Ludiba Foundation and Energy Partners Limited, 2 companies related to the couple, were charged by the Attorney General for allegedly stealing money from the state through a criminal enterprise. The 5 were facing 24 counts of charges of stealing, fraudulently causing financial loss to the state, abetment of stealing, money laundering, defrauding by false pretenses, intentional dissipation of public funds, using public office for profit, dishonestly receiving and intentionally causing financial loss to the state. Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Remsai told the court on Tuesday that the Attorney General wished to withdraw all the charges against the accused persons. Although he did not give any reason for the decision, he later posted on Facebook that it was due to the discovery of some new evidence. Godfred Yeboadame had no objection but raised concerns about the presence of commandos on the corridor and the abuse of discretionary power by the Attorney General. Augustine Obo, counsel for Faiza Seiduwuni, also said that the discretionary power granted the Attorney General must be exercised in a manner that does not infringe on the rights of the accused persons. Justice Francis Achibonga, in a ruling, held that the Attorney General had the prerogative to initiate, continue or truncate a criminal trial. Reacting to accusations by Godfred Yeboadame that the Office of the Attorney General is abusing its prosecutorial powers, the Deputy Attorney General refuted the claims and urged Dame not to be dramatic.
Fresh evidence means you have discovered something new. As to whether that will lead to new charges or will beef up the prevailing charges or will even change some of the charges, that is why we need to interrogate and confirm with the accused person, particularly his side of the story, before we push forward. We cannot just bring evidence. It is part of the criminal procedure to interrogate accused persons whenever you have what? Fresh evidence. I don't know why this has become an issue for the former Attorney General, who should know better, to be lamenting on across the country and all radio stations, calling to TV station and making the same point. When we were withdrawing the charges, he was on our side. He even told the judge that he is familiar, he did a lot of withdrawals. To the extent that even the co-accused counsel was talking to the 2 of us and said that we were politicians and he is a professional lawyer. So in the courtroom.
Okay, you're welcome back. This is Current Agenda, and I'll go to Bracco Powers now for his take on this.
I think first off, it is important to note that there have been this contradicting fact being thrown about. Particularly, you will notice that the former Attorney General has been making the claim that the former CEO of the Buffer Stock and the wife, who were rearrested by the Economic and Organized Crime, have been denied legal representation during interrogation. And the video clip you just played, we all heard the Deputy Attorney General currently, Dr. Justice Remsai, denying that allegation. So these are 2 competing facts. In fact, what is the truth? The truth is in the middle. So, personally, I am not enthused about the claim by the former Attorney General, because I know this has been seen as a political trial. But must it be characterized as a political trial? It's something we should be mindful about. If the state believes that some people have committed crime against the state, and they are arraigning them in court, we must not characterize that process as a political trial simply because the person standing trial is is a key opposition figure. I want us to delineate clearly the responsibility on the state to protect and sanitize the society, as well as the political euphoria that's always greet anything that is done in this country. So what I'm trying to point out is that the former Attorney General made a claim, which claim has been disputed by the current Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Chonsai. Personally, I feel we just need to know what the truth is. Do we know what the truth is? Was Anan and the wife denied legal representation? Currently, we don't have the truth.
Okay.
So I will just urge Ghanaians to exercise caution. Don't pick one angle and argue as though it is the truth. It is not, because we need to get the full complement of the truth before we can engage in a dispassionate analysis. But the thing is, Maltiti, across the aisle, even the Deputy Attorney General noted that Dominic, the former Attorney General, agreed that indeed it is within their right to withdraw the charges against accused persons.
Right.
Because as part of the powers of the Attorney General under Article 88.3, the power to initiate, prosecute all criminal matters also connotes the power to withdraw.
Okay.
And when they say they are fresh charges or they are fresh evidence, they don't need to give you the evidence. They don't need to show you the evidence. Now why? They have evidence against you. You want them to give you the evidence and you before a court.
They can show you, but they don't need to show you.
They are asking you questions. That's true. So during the interrogation process, they will show you that, because when they are interrogating you, they will tell you that we are interrogating you based on A, B, C, D. Your lawyers, or you can even demand that, okay, can I see? I have accompanied people to Yoko.
Right.
And when they are interrogating them, I get the opportunity to look at the document, the basis of which the person, my client, is being interrogated. Yoko has no ground to say, I'm not giving you the document. Because as the legal representative of my client, I need to look at what my client will be examined or cross-examined or being asked or interrogated on.
By the case where they say that they have not had access to their clients, how is the interrogation being done?
No, so the question is that, is their claim the truth?
That they've not had access to their clients?
These are politicians. Maltiti, I'm very careful because, see, I don't want to dabble in the petty partisan politics. These are politicians. Godfrey Dame is a politician. If they claim, don't forget that in this case, there's another lawyer who is non-partisan.
Okay.
If the claim is coming from him, I will agree. But coming from a politician, when I know how politics is in this country,
that can overshadow even the law and what the due process, what the right thing should be said.
They may make something which is not something into something.
Okay.
Do you understand? So what Government is saying is rather give us opportunity to do whether if it is true, but I'm not saying that is the full fact. The basis of which I'll go onto the market and be trumpeting that this is what happened.
At what point will we get the full complement of what is happening? Is it when the case progresses?
So the thing is that this is a claim they've made. The Deputy Attorney General has denied it. What is the truth? The Deputy Attorney General, now you see, you must understand that in accepting or deciding which side to believe in, you have to look at official government institutions. Communication coming from official government institutions must be respected.
Okay.
But is it the case that it is usually always the truth? But the understanding is that since this is an official communication, you must respect it, unless there is another argument or maybe somebody else can bring a different argument or a different evidence contradicting what the government institution has communicated. So that's a different argument altogether.
Okay.
So if Bank of Ghana is telling me that this is the issue, and you say that I should take what the opposition is saying as a fact, I will not. I would rather take what World Bank will be saying or what the IMF will be saying. That contradicts the Bank of Ghana's position. But if it is coming from the opposition, let's be able to adduce evidence contradicting in clear terms what the Bank of Ghana is saying. Then,
and the lawyers of the said accused cannot take themselves out of the political coloring. Is that what it is?
No,
like
they have. That's what I'm saying, that they've succeeded in politicizing the trial. Because I don't think that should be the basis. I feel that we should be able to get to a point where when the state decides to prosecute some people, irrespective of the political party you find yourself in, let's look at the full facts. And let's delineate the partisanship from the responsibility of the state to prosecute people who have shortchanged the state.
Okay.
That is the kind of conversation we need to be having.
All right.
But with the way Godfrey Dame and others are trying to, just colorize the whole thing, I don't feel it's something we need to consider. But you see, Maltiti, we must understand that it is within the right of the Yoko to rearrest them. And the fact of withdrawing charges against an accused person does not mean that the accused person is innocent. It does not amount to pronouncement of innocence. It only means that the government or the state is recalibrating its issues.
Looking for something to hold them with?
You have to
by all means?
No, but not only by all means. The thing is that when you withdraw charges against somebody, an accused person, and your basis is that you have fresh evidence, it means that you have an expanded scope.
Okay.
An expanded scope. Now you're going to broaden the conversation, which is why he was rearrested. The question is that was his rearrest? Let me say, as part of was his rearrest part of the, or was it connected, or can you connect it
to the old charges?
To the old charges.
Okay.
That's an argument we should be interested in.
Because then you'll be wondering if it's connected to the old charges. Why were the 25 counts or charges scrapped? Plus procurement and money laundering and
you can be rearrested in connection with the old charges. When there's a broadening, when you can go for a broadening conversation, when you can broaden the charges.
Investigation. Okay.
Because the 25 counts does not mean that there could not be more.
Okay.
Or there could not be less.
All right.
Do you understand? The state may be, like I told you, recalibrating its options and also deciding whether to go for the full jugular. That is the full haul, to make sure that you get a very tight evidence, the basis of which you can go to grant successful conviction. So, Maltiti, unless there's evidence that the state in rearresting and did not respect their rights, because as Afakwa said, the thing is that when you arrest somebody, even under suspicion of even having or about to commit a crime, you must let the person know the basis of which whoever there was, or were his lawyers there, can they confirm that he was not told in clear terms the basis of his arrest? As Anan spoken to us, was Anan and his wife, were they the only people who were there when Yoko officials arrested them? If they were the only people there, they are in the best position to tell us whether they were told in clear terms or not.
Okay.
Any other information are mere conjectures.
All right.
And I don't want us to dabble in that kind of conversation.
You mentioned.
Because Maltiti, these are serious matters.
Okay.
Let us not colorize this conversation. We have said that this government has a responsibility to hold former public officials responsible. Across the area, people are saying that oral must work. If oral must work, let's delineate politics out of it. Let's allow the state to function. If the state believes that A and B are culpable for a particular crime, allow the state to do it work. Unless we have contrary evidence, then we can bandit that around. But let's not, in fact, meddle in the affairs of the states by reason of petty partisan politics. I don't want that kind of conversation.
I'll give you all a minute on it. So let me take Professor Boedi has not spoken at all on this matter. Prof?
One of our lawyers. I've enjoyed the several conversations from different angles to this issue. The issue, I'm not to will provide details of the issue that we are discussing. But the point is that a CEO who occupies an office, leaves office, charges leveled against this same person and the wife, and that borders on the issue will border on, I mean, contracts in terms of food supply to the citizens, people that we have in our country. And it's been brought back. I think we'll look at the moral lessons out of this. That's where I will probably be coming from. One, you know, if you happen to be in the banking sector before, we have a policy or a law that when you leave office, after so many years, you are likely to be brought back if you had committed any issues or offenses in the administration. So it tells a story that those who are at the helm of affairs today, tomorrow, or years to come, if you don't discharge your duties well and you are found culpable, you'll be brought back to face the law. That is the moral part that those who are listening and those who are to occupy positions in the future should watch out and be very careful when they are given such a mandate and a position to occupy, that one day you'll be brought back to give an account of your stewardship. And it's very important that we lay this point clear. I am not worried about the rearrest. I'm worried about the fresh evidence, the so-called fresh evidence. And our lawyers have said so many things that in law, you can be, the person who's likely to be rearrested is normal. But the issue about fresh evidence, so decompose the issue you're discussing into three parts. One will be the confirmed case, the alleged, and then the unclear. That's where we need to decompose the issue into. The issue are the cases that we have confirmed, the ones that we have alleged, and then the unclear ones. If we allow issues like this, you know, we have two different fronts here. The supporters of this current administration, and then the supporters of the old administration. The supporters of the ELSO administration will be thinking that why do you go and arrest the person, is allowed to go, and then you rearrest the person again? They will have issues in terms of the media, the judgment.
Some are saying that prosecution did not prepare well. That's a smack of that.
I'll come to that. Okay. So they will have issues, and they will talk. Then the supporters of the current administration will think that the government has a space to tighten its own case, and that's what he's doing. So it's a normal thing. So that must be practiced. We don't need to have this vacuum created. We don't need to have this vacuum created because it doesn't help. When you keep doing this, people have issues. But the other thing that I want to find out, why is it that our investigative bodies don't take their time to prepare their cases well? So what is a rush? Do they have timelines that within this period you must do this? If you don't, you'll be sacked. Are they under that instruction? I am tempted to believe you must do this within this time. If you don't, we'll sack you. Okay. Because sometimes it becomes quite embarrassing that a case we brought against someone, after some time, the case is dropped, new evidence found, the person is brought back. Sometimes what is this back and forth thing? Is it wrong to take our time and do proper investigation so that when you are brought before the court, we know this is finality. You cannot get out of this case. We keep back and we have these conversations.
Because we've made promises of ensuring that the justice system does not delay further than originally it looks like it does.
Look, we are here. You'll be amazed the next time you recall that we should come here and talk about this, that a fresh evidence has also been found. How many times can we do this to ourselves? The law allows that, we understand. But what is also wrong for the state, Attorney General, to prepare the cases well ensure that this case will not come back again and talk about it. So I am worried. On one breath, the law should be served. Ora, I don't know how many cases they have won, how much they have, I don't know whether they have the procedure to prosecute. But the point is that we have all these agencies available to help retrieve funds that are supposed to be embezzled by individuals. How much? 2 years in administration, can you quantify how much we have been able to collect? I don't have the numbers. You also can testify. But the fleeting news, the media, the portals, are even more than the money we are even talking about, assumed to have collected. So we should have time to look at all this. I don't prevent justice to be served. But the point is that in the process of serving justice, we should also be careful, mindful that individuals are involved.
Right.
And we are not only in Ghana. There are people who also listen to our processes, our system here. And sometimes it's worrying when they hear some of this news. Is it also good to set a business in Ghana? If something happens, what happened to me? Would they be dragging me back and forth like this in the country? We should be mindful of all these indicators.
Absolutely. Thank you, Prof. Brady. I'll come back to Lawyer Jamaica.
Maltiti, anybody out there watching might be thinking, lawyers always banter. And yes, it is, but the profession thrives on certain ethics. So we abide by those ethics. Prof mentioned something. You remember there's a Ghanaian player called Thomas Partey, who is facing some charges in the UK. The investigation took almost 2 years, if not more. So I agree with Prof. I used to ask that, and there was a time there was some murders in Ipswich in the UK. Then the person was arrested. By the time they were getting to court, it's close to 2 years. And so the trial took like 2 to 3 weeks. It's day by day, day by day, day by day. Because you have been given all the opportunity. Are you ready now for us to start trial? Are you ready? Then we start. I think we should be looking at that as a country as well. But you see, Prof, I think somewhere too, the optics and the pressure, as he said, they might not be written ones, but they might be ones that will be coming from all over the places. So when 3 days ago, my 84-year-old mom asked me, what are you guys doing about the trials? No matter how the legal things I break down to her is...
What's the finality?
What is the finality? That's all she's asking. That is 84-year-old lady. And she made some other comments like, are you guys serious? This country, all of you are not just taking all of us for a ride and we are seeing you tomorrow, someone is on 50. And she has all those which ordinarily I would have asked. So I agree with Prof on that aspect. Now, on what my brother, Mr. Braku said, sometimes you are going for maybe causing financial loss and stealing. Then you realize that causing financial loss can take 6 months. Stealing can take 2 months. And you arrive at almost the same destination. Let me change that. Let me withdraw. Just for only stealing. And I'm sure I'll get stealing. And in some of the cases currently before court, I know that is what they have done. They've withdrawn the other causing financial loss things because they can see the element of stealing very clear and they want to go for that. So sometimes the withdrawal and all this is all boiled down to the same thing.
It's not because of lack of preparation.
It's stage of strategy that you realize that, hey, let's do it this way rather. Instead of, if we want to pursue all these 25 charges, we might be there forever and will not get anything.
But you've heard that it may seem like by all means you want to hold the CEO to something because he was appointed by the erstwhile administration.
Yes, but...
And for seeing an institution like that, there'll be lapses or breaches.
Yes, years back we had a very fine, prominent, every weekend on the face of TV personality called Abdul Kokuk Baku, Malik Baku. And he said it that if there are witches, they ought to be hunted. That's what he said when they were talking about witch hunting. And he said if there are witches, they ought to be hunted. So I will yield to such a superior reasoning by virtue of the fact that...
Proving somebody is a witch is what's interesting.
No, I am only quoting. Prof is here. Prof knows why we quote it that way and put the name and the year. This one, year unknown. If I'm allowed by that, Prof knows that So he said if there are witches to be hunted, they ought to be hunted. I just want to say that we had been in this. Let me address one thing that my brother here said, that the current Attorney General must know is the Minister of Justice. I don't think that is lost on anybody. I hate equalization. However, we so soon forgot that we had a gentleman in this country called Afoko, who was found not guilty. And even though he was found not guilty, he was found guilty by some other means and spent several days and several years in custody. We had the Jakpa tape incident. We have a letter where a justice of the court says that if I were the AG, I would have advised that you don't take part in this case. We had all that in this country. Let us not, you see, until, as Prof. and Braco said, until we delineate the idea. Again, let me also address the idea about the bail that was given to Mr. Osea Sibi. If counsel will be minded, when you are giving bail and the conditions are so huge for you, there and then you can ask the judge that I played with you before your ink dries. Can you do something about it? It looks like you are giving from one hand and taking by the other hand. Right. If the judge refuses, go home, file another process. By then maybe she would have, or he would have also thought about it, come back and say, you gave us this. We've done all humanly possible. We can't get. Reduce it for us. The judge, if minded, will reduce it. If the judge doesn't like it, you go up and go and repeat it and say, this is what I found. Can you, in your wisdom, you are now 3, reduce it for me? The judge is there. Assuming we are now talking about Court of Appeal, we'll say, oh, this one looks so huge. Let us reduce it. It is not only the idea that you will be available. That is the basic one, but it's not the only thing. Sometimes the person could be a flight risk, which may see that you will not be available and will erode that. Sometimes the punishment that will come out of the trial, and certain times the likelihood of you committing the same offense or similar offense, punishable by up to 6 months. That is why the judges will look at all this. And mind you, the judges that we have in our society don't live in Pluto or in Mars. They live on Earth here. And they live in the country. Now, they go to the same church, the same mosque, the same market. They go to see.
Powers mentioned that there's the middle ground. Who is going to tell us what the truth really is? And those were Rafako's concerns as well.
I think that with all respect to him and deference to him, he was only being economical. He knows that when a government official performs a task, it is presumed to have been performed well. So when a government official comes out to tell us, until contrary, it is presumed to have been telling us the truth. Let's hold it for so that way. But because he was playing middle ground, he drew all of us back into the middle ground.
Well, because he mentioned that there's the other voice.
Yes. I indicated I will respect communication from government institutions.
Yes.
Okay.
Because we will believe unless there's a contrary evidence.
Yes. And there are contrary voices. Voice evidence.
There must be evidence. This alone is not enough.
Currently,
as the clients didn't have access to his lawyer. Learn for me.
Yes, I will learn. As it stands, one of the things which I believe they will agree, as a criminal lawyer, you must always do, is that it is the liberty of your client that is at stake. Any bravado you want to show will be against your client.
Okay.
You can go to court, the judge will be whatever it is, or the prosecutors will be whatever it is. You might be older than them, smarter than them, but you must be a bit amiable and apply to their very soft spots, because it's a discretionary thing. The person can see you and say, example, assuming that a judge, there are certain things that we don't see. A judge had a wife called Maltiti, and they had a fight that morning before he comes here, and the first case he gets that day will be Maltiti.
Maybe are trouble.
Even though it's not written, the judge will say, oh, the one will do me for house, well, I can't meet another one for here, forget about it. You today, you go inside. Okay. I mean, it's not written, but as human beings, no matter how I'm just using that as an yes, there are several things that come to play. So I think that the noise around these things must come down small because of the liberty of the people involved.
Accused. Lawyer Fakwa, and you know, as Braco said, with the middle ground, then what you're saying, we need evidence that truly all the allegations that you're putting up It's true.
So, the question is, what constitutes that evidence that we are looking for? So as far as evidence from a security installation is concerned, you know that when you are entering UK, power has been there. Have been there multiple times. Your phones are taken away.
There's no CCTV cameras.
You can't take all those footages and those things. But what? Yeah,
okay.
Yes,
So,
but what constitutes proper evidence? If the state is reporting, if it is to be presumed that official communication, because there has not been any official communication from Yoko to say there's an official communication.
Okay.
Official communication, properly so called, must be signed by the executive director of Yoko. He's the head. That's the arresting institution. It is not the AG. Official communication must come from Yoko. That on this said date, accused persons or suspects A, B, and C were arrested. The station diary must confirm so that they have made due entries into that. Their lawyers were present. When we were entering an interrogation room, records are taken. When you enter interrogation, you are recorded. And if they are minded to dispute some anomalies in terms of communication within the system, they can bring those information out for us to juxtapose them to see who is telling the truth. But if they are keeping it to themselves, then the honors tax lies on the defense counsel, because like my learned brother said, the interest of the defense counsel is the liberty of their clients. Why must they complain that we have no access to them if you have access to them?
And you're not legally allowed to withhold this or what you're saying, the information, the records.
Absolutely. They have liberty to break them out. That yes, these are issues because it also affects their reputation. It's an institution. They have international collaborations. They work with some international standards. I am happy yesterday when I went to NIB, the interrogation center, the outdated interrogation. Now it has been refurbished completely, and let me congratulate Mr. Kipo, the Director General of NIB, that what the former Director General started, refurbishing the headquarters. He has also transformed, transmitted same to the interrogation center. It's a beautiful place. Professionalism and those standards, so and they must continue with that pursuit, irrespective of the pressures that may come from above. But Maltiti, in spite of all what is happening, like Leonard Brother said, you see, the cardinal reason for bail conditions is to ensure your attendance in court. Your attendance in court. Because at the end of the day, it is your attendance in court that will ensure that whether or not you are guilty or not guilty will be determined. Whether or not the state has an issue, a case against you, we are all for the state. That anyone who has used criminal means to siphon some funds from the state, well, we need monies to, as it were, construct our roads, to fix our hospitals, to fix our municipal services, our water, our electricity, and those kind of things. So, and it should not be allowed for this money to be sitting in private pockets for people to enjoy solo. So if the state is pursuing it, it must be in tandem with due process. As enshrined in Article 19, fair trial is what we are asking for. Let the people go through it in a manner prescribed by law. The extrajudicial aspects of it should be mitigated. You see, in terms of politicization of this thing, who started it? It is the same learned Attorney General. In the past, we have never witnessed that before even charges are preferred against accused persons, the Attorney General, who is the Minister of Justice, who organize press conferences, put the issues, the matters out in the court of public opinion for the court of public opinion to make determinations of same, convict and sentence the accused persons before they are even properly arraigned before courts of competent jurisdiction to determine their cases.
But you agree that your fears of delayed justice, where their names are being peddled around in media publications, if finality was brought to this matter quickly, would end all of that, and that the general public is also worried or have been worried that these corruption cases drag too long and they don't hear anything about it. And so on the other hand, that's why the AG would also come out to update them on the cases that they're working on.
We are talking about fair trial. Fair trial must respect the right of the accused persons. I am here, and if an allegation is made against me that I came to GTV and in the makeup room, I was seen, sorry to use this word, touching maybe the female who is attending to me as far as the makeup is concerned. It's an allegation that has been made against me, and it needs to be proved. For all you know, then it is out by a high-ranking government official. And you know, from what Black Powers brought out in terms of our Evidence Act, that official communication is presumed to be regular until a contrary intention is established. Before you even establish a contrary intention to date, you have been condemned within the public speech. Is that not it?
Because of who you are?
No, not because of who am I, but because of how the information, who carried the said information out. If it's coming from the London Attorney General, who is mandated or enjoined under Article 88.3 to prosecute on criminal matters, that this is what we have found, this is the stealing that has gone on, the ramble in the jungle, using semantics to even describe it in a manner that puts in the minds of the people that, hey, these people, they have crushed the treasury of this republic, and that they need not even to live, they should be killed. These are perceptions. But once it's elevated, you see, we have what we call securitization. And securitization is bringing a political matter to a level of security threats that extra measures are undertaken, extra resources are put in, aside the normal procedure or practice that we use. That's a securitized subject. So if you securitize an investigation that you have conducted halfway in a manner, elevate it to be a major securitized political subject matter, in the court of public opinion, what do you expect? Okay. Condemnation. And this is what the law frowns upon it. Okay. And I believe that we must respect the rights of the ordinary people, because it's an inalienable right. Let the state go through the procedure like my learned brother said. If an investigation should take 2 years for you to put all your bits and pieces together, tighten your knots, file charges, and go through even day by day trial process, because expeditious trial is also the right of the accused person. Okay. That when you expedite trial, you reduce costs, or the cost in expanding trial, because you are commuting, you are buying fuel, you are going to court, you are paying lawyers' fees, you are doing all those. So if you stay longer, you are spending more costs. All right. So if you do it well and do it properly, at the end of the day, there is settlement on the matter that the person is guilty or the accused person is not guilty. Thank you. There's finality on this matter, then we'll have a peace than politicizing these subject matters in this manner with extrajudicial handling of this case.
Professor Boedi.
Thank you. My last take.
Yes, I will give you your last take just before we move to BOG. Because he's mentioned you, so Professor Boedi. So I mean, this is what the legal brains are saying. I am sitting here and I'm saying, okay, so justice delayed is justice denied. We want a quick way of dealing with it. We want an effective way of communicating what is happening, what is happening behind the scenes. But on the other hand, as Lawyer Farquhar has mentioned, it's like people are being crucified in the court of public opinion, if that's what it appears to be. What do we do?
Well, it's an age-long issue in Ghana here, that people are sentenced already in the public space before even they get to the court environment. So what do we do? As a country, we need to be careful when we level charges or accusations on people. We have to be careful. If we don't have evidence, we should be careful. And for the optics, that's the judgment. For those people who don't understand matters in court, who don't even know how the AG, the file cases, and the issue about rearrest, the issue about how we we arrest individuals, how we grant bails, they don't have the fundamentals, will be the one to judge what is happening. So for me, to have a solution to this problem, I'm sure, first of all, let's as much as possible try and discharge our duties well when you are given the opportunity to serve. If it's because of for political reasons you are brought before the court or being chased morning, afternoon, evening, then we can say, well, it has a political motive, callous. But take away the callous off. The issue we are discussing, did it happen? And I gave you 3.
As in procurement breaches and money laundering, using the foundation and 2 companies.
That is why from the beginning I said, let's decompose the issue into 3. The confirmed ones. Have they confirmed those ones?
Any illegal transactions?
Alleged ones.
Alleged.
The unclear one. So which one are we focusing on now? My issue is that this trial should not delay that long. One, we need revenue. We need money to help our schools provide meals. People have been talking, I think, this last week, what is happening in some of our schools.
And this school feeding keeps coming up.
So, in terms of solution to this problem we have, it's an age long. I don't know when we can have, because one administration takes over, and it's all sometimes allegations.
Okay.
Allegations. And I think we should take away the color from some of the cases that we handle, because we have become too political with some of the issues that we handle. Let's watch this and see where this case will end.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you. Let me bring you in, Bako Powers, now. And I asked the question about longevity of the cases versus communication from the right quarters. You have said from a government agency that to be believed to be neutral and not colored.
The thing is, Prof was talking about the the confirmation of ministry, let me say, 3-tier analysis. But we must understand that the only way the allegations leveled against any accused person will be confirmed is when they are the individuals are arraigned in court, and the court or the judges being umpires establish the fact, and they're able to apply it. They apply the law. But as it stands now, these are the allegations from the state. And the accused persons also may have their own contrary evidence. But it is a judge who will determine what the truth is.
Okay. Is there a better way of communicating in all the, shenanigans leading up to the final determination in court?
But the thing is that process is an age-old issue. In fact, and I also blame the media. The media is also responsible for fueling this partisanship.
The age is ready to talk.
When there are matters like this, consequential matters like this, the media, instead of calling neutral individuals to touch base or explain the issues, want to hear the banter from the politicians.
These are people who come from places. Like Mr. Hanan, he was appointed by an electoral administration. And they may feel that, exonerating him will mean that they put the right man in the right office, and he didn't do any harm but oversaw an institution that, helped.
The thing is that I'm saying that when there are issues and we want to discuss those issues in a dispassionate manner, you invite voices that will calm the tension. You will invite voices that will fuel or stoke the conversation. Now, let me proceed from there. The thing is that, does the withdrawal look bad on the Attorney General? No. The answer is no, it doesn't.
In the court of public opinion at all.
That is why it is the responsibility of you and I to let the public know. Because the thing is that we are succeeding in fueling them, or just trying to disabuse the minds, or we need to work to disabuse the minds of Ghanaians with regard to some of these processes. It's been taking place. This is not the first time the state has withdrawn charges against an accused person. This is not the first time, even the other agencies prosecuting cases, the other agencies that have powers to prosecute cases are withdrawing charges against individuals. It takes place. Why are we focusing on this? Because it has taken the center state. This is not new. It's not novel. Does it look bad on the government or the state? It doesn't. That's why I told you that it's an opportunity to recalibrate. And the thing is that, why must it take you 2 years to investigate a matter and to impose how many charges? 20 charges.
25.
When you can even go for just 2 charges and you are convinced that you succeed.
But they started with the 25 charges.
No, that's what I'm saying that you don't need 2 years, 3 years to investigate a particular matter. When you know, at least convincingly, you can be able to nail the person with only 2 charges.
And Council, that's why my submission, I said, confirm not from the angle, from the courts. But AG can look and say, these 2 cases, for me, I'm clear. No matter what will happen. I'm okay. Let me go ahead with the 2.
Exactly.
That's what I was trying to say.
No. I don't. Prof, I'm not even talking about. I'm only hinting. Council also talked about cases outside the jurisdiction where matters, investigative processes took a while. Yes, so I'm not really. But I'm saying that. In fact, there are many people who are also saying that. Why? That's why I started by saying that. Does the withdrawal look bad on the Attorney General?
Yeah.
Because there are other people who are saying that the withdrawal shows they were unprepared. You know, and it fits into your conversation that the thing is that maybe the charges they filed, they feel, no, we could rather have gone for this one instead of this. Maybe this one appears light. So let's go for this. That's why they are trying to recalibrate.
Was there an attempt to look good or overly prepared?
No, that's what I'm saying. That is in trying to touch base on with what Paul said. No, the thing is that it is the responsibility of the state to prosecute cases. But if the state feels that, like in Paul's 3-tier analysis, feels that the ones they can confirm are not those before the court, then is it the ones they can confirm are not those before the court,
which are in the 25 initial charges.
Exactly. They can recall the case or withdraw the case and now file the ones they can confirm.
Okay.
The ones that are tied.
The ones that exactly. So that they know that this one, because the thing is, the danger is that after the fanfare, and probably you even double into that comment, after the fanfare, if the state doesn't succeed, imagine the consequences.
Yeah. Is the communication going to be as
exactly
effective
after the fanfare? If the state doesn't succeed on the 25 charges, imagine what will happen. So the state is recalibrating its options.
Okay.
You said, okay, let me withdraw the cases based on fresh evidence. And it fits into Pop's first year, which is the confirmed.
Could the lawyers of Mr. Hanan and his wife use this against the state?
No, what are you going to use against?
Okay.
What are you going to use?
It doesn't give them any muscle.
The state says, I have slapped you with charges. I'm withdrawing it.
All right.
Do you have any case against the state? Do you have any case against the state? They brought the charges against you and they are saying, I'm withdrawing it. And Maltiti, let me address one thing. The thing is, see?
Okay. I want you to land.
I'm landing now. The plane is landing now. Maltiti, Iyoko is under the Office of the Attorney General. In fact, it's an agency under the Attorney General. So if there's communication from the Attorney General, do you expect a press statement from Iyoko again? No, I'm asking. The thing is that the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Ramsay, said the claims made by Godfrey Dame are not justified. Because if he has any contrary evidence, you should bring it. Do you expect a press statement from Iyoko? When the superintending organization, the deputy head of that organization, has said that there are no basis to the claim, you expect a press statement from Iyoko with a
So they're saying the same thing.
What Iyoko will say is what the Deputy Attorney General is saying.
All right.
So you take what he says, unless you have a contrary evidence. And you see, official communication does not mean that there must be press conference or there must be a press release. Official communication could even just be merely communicating to the media.
Like we saw the AG do.
Exactly. It's official communication because the person is officially personified.
Right. To be in the right position to say that. Thank you, Lawyer Bracco Powers. And we've expended lots of time on this, on the matter of the, sorry? I have to go for a breaking. Hey, Lawyer Faka. And come back and talk about the Bank of Ghana losses, IMF petition and political accountability is what we'll be going into. The show is brought to you by NPA and Bank of Africa. We're on a break. We're back shortly.
Back and stay safe. The National Petroleum Authority is cautioning the public to desist from scooping or fetching fuel from overturned fuel tankers at accident scenes. Do not get closer to the scene in an attempt to take videos or pictures. Inhaling the petroleum product is detrimental to your health. Worst of all, petroleum products are volatile and highly flammable, and a small spark can trigger a catastrophic explosion, causing deaths and loss of property. Call the Ghana Fire Service or Ghana Police personnel to handle the scene, or reach the National Petroleum Authority's contact center on 0302 550 380. Your life is worth more than a gallon of fuel. This Save a Life campaign is from the National Petroleum Authority.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
You're welcome back to the show. This is Current Agenda on GTV, and we're moving straight into Bank of Ghana and the losses. We know that the former Finance Minister, Dr. Amin Adam, has written to the IMF and has petitioned them. We want to understand what it's likely to produce, practical outcomes of whether it's new for the bank to make losses or not. Professor Boidi, these are the arguments that this is not the first time that the bank has made losses. It's a profit-making institution, but primarily this is not the first time. What does it look like for our books?
Yeah. Thank you very much. It's not the first time. Yes. Several years we've had losses before, so I can understand it's not the first time. But it's the first time under an administration, NDC administration, and it's the first time under a finance minister. And it's the first time that a report has generated so much debate for more than 2 weeks now, since the report was released. And I'm sure you should be curious to find out why there are so much controversies about this whole one report.
Right.
And I said it on the other platform the other day that a financial report should not be ambiguous to understand. It should be very easy, because in the office we have internal auditors and we have external auditors. We have a framework of preparing a financial statement. And when you prepare, you must go through different processes before the final release. So we should be curious to find out why the controversies at this stage. It's the first time, I'm sure, we are hearing something like FX accounting, how to report losses under different framework. It was a year under where we had a depletion of our reserves, almost half sold or injected. It was a year that we, VOG at a point denied injection of FX, only to be brought into public debate, discussion by IMF. So when you have issues like what happened at the year under review, obviously when a performance is given, a financial statement presented, you will be curious to find out what happened in that year, and especially when we have declared a loss. After all the injections, after all the depletion of the gold reserves, what's the bottom line? And the bottom line is what we are discussing now. The bottom line, we lost 15 billion, debatable. Net equity of 96, debatable. We also, in that year, we doubled our operations, open market operations twice. I mean, we doubled. So you then need to interrogate the reasons for the losses. That's all that we are discussing now. And if you go through the documents, the financial statements of the BOG, reasons have been given for the loss. And we have also cited or had different press conferences, some by the minority, some by the majority. And it's also the first time that majority and minority have joined BOG defending position of a central bank. For me, it's ironic. The first time I heard this before, because they have a body that will be in charge for discussion of such a document. Now, let's come back to the reasons given by the central bank and the majority as well about the losses.
Right.
They cited something on the cost of maintaining economic stability. We incurred the losses because we had to control the economy stability. So the word that should come out is what is economic stability? And Ghana, do we go through that situation before? Then we can now have a conversation.
Okay.
So when we say economic stability, we are looking at a condition which economy would not have major issues or extreme fluctuations. Fluctuations in terms of indicators that we use to measure the economy. So one would be inflation. The other one would be interest rates.
They mentioned that exchange rate related pressures.
And then we'll talk about employment issue. We'll talk about public debt. We'll talk about interest rates. So many indicators. So I said, a situation where we don't have extreme situations for all these indicators I've mentioned. So then you also need to go back and check for the year before they took over an administration. That will help you with the analysis.
Okay.
That,
so like 2024.
2020, you can start from 2022, 2023, 2024, then you can come to 5. Because the year that we recorded the loss happened to be the 2025. So let's go back to economic stability that the governor, the office alluded to. And it will interest you to know, and I mentioned this here some time ago when I visited your platform, that the loss central bank in 2022 was about 60 billion. All right. Okay. 60 billion in 2022. So if you look at that figure, you think we had a problem in 2022. Now come back to 2023.
Okay.
We also recorded a loss of, that's what is there.
10.5, yes.
10.5.
On the screen.
Right. Then check 2024. How much?
9.49 billion.
Can you draw a line to this? Is it going up or is it coming down?
It came down from 2022, 60.8 billion.
So before the year, we reported this. See the trend. What is happening to the trend? What's coming down?
It was coming down.
Good. Economic stability. We'll talk about that.
Right.
Then talk about inflation. If you have the figure, can project it. Inflation, before they handed over to an administration, in 2022, same year under review, was about 54, highest we have recorded as a country. In 2023, now dropped to 23. 2024 dropped around 20s or so. Then the year that we are talking about in 2025 stood at 5.4. Today, 3.2, if I'm right.
Drastically come down.
So we are now still focusing on stability. So a loss as a result of stability. Exchange rate, the same trend. If you look at gross international reserve, the same trend. 66.3, 5.9, and the year under review was 13.8 billion.
Okay.
So it tells you it cannot be the losses could be as a result of the economic stability. It cannot be for the figures we are giving out here. Now, they also gave another reason in the same report. And I asked the same question the last time. The central question I asked was simple. Could the same microeconomic gains would have achieved at a lower cost? Could have achieved the same thing at a lower cost. And check the expenses portion of the P&L. presented to us, the highest expenses that as a country we incurred was under open market operations. And that recorded a jump from 8 billion to 16 billion.
Right.
And I think you have the figures also over there. To 16 billion.
The cost of open market operations rising sharply from 8.60 in 2024.
Followed by another expenditure. And that has to do with gold, 5.9, I think that was 9.5 or so.
Okay.
The gold, the sale of gold. All right. Now, let's look at, could we have achieved the same microeconomic gains at a lower cost? And a simple finance that we do, it will tell you, anytime you want to mop up excesses of funds from people, we cannot, Bank of Ghana cannot go into the market and collect money from people because we have holding on to a lot of money. No, it must be done through the banks.
Right.
So the Bank of Ghana now issues an instrument, treasury bill rates, trying to mop up excess liquidity we have in the system. So many options to do that. One option is the open market operation, which BOG used. We have another option, and I ask you, could you have achieved this at a lower cost?
At a lower cost for the losses.
The option we chose was at a higher cost. Because we chose the open market operation, that we spent 16 billion to collect 93 funds from people. So in attempt of collecting 93 billion, you spent 16 billion to collect the money.
Now,
could you have used other means
to mop up that revenue? What I want to understand, and I'm sure the viewers want to understand, is what will the former finance minister write into the IMF? What would it invoke?
Yeah. Before I even come to that, if you could allow me to, or I can respond and then look at that option.
Because of the time, yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask this question, what the rationale for them to write a letter? Remember, IMF, they have an oversight and accountability in terms of what agreement we have with them. We are under a plan, IMF plan.
Right.
And the question that also we need to ask, if you're under such a plan or an agreement with an IMF, will they allow or supervise a loss like this? And if indeed they will, what would be the magnitude of such a loss that would be acceptable by IMF?
Okay.
And I'm sure they are justified. Okay. For me, our institute, we have also written to IMF the same way, asking all these questions.
What kind of loss is accepted per their standard?
Per their standard.
Okay.
And that they also allow under that program because they have an oversight responsibility. Remember, the same IMF came and said, and told the governor, you have injected huge sums of money. In the same committee, they didn't say anything. IMF left, and they came back. And now to the bank. So they are right. Then I'll come back to the issues, to use a lower, other means that would have...
a minute too.
Well, there's something called cash reserve ratio.
Okay.
That gives you don't even spend, it's zero cost if BOG had even used that option.
Okay.
We have standard deposit facility. We also have Forex. They chose the one that brought huge cost to the country. And if you had used cash reserve ratio, what it means is that the reserves these banks, they have with you, what you have to do is to raise the percentage of those funds they have with you so that they will bring money to your chest. then you reduce the pressure in the system.
Okay, ultimately, there were other options.
What?
That's what you're saying, but they chose to go with the one that you say from the report cost us more. Lawyer Fakwa, let me come to you on this. Lawyer, Prof has mentioned all the other ways that the central bank could have mopped up, revenue to stabilize the economy, because on the back of all of these losses is because they wanted economic stability.
Yeah, so if you look at the figures Prof projected, in 2024, the negative equity of the Bank of Ghana stood at 58.62 billion. Under the research, the negative equity stands at 93.82 billion. You remember Maltiti, the occupied BOG, where the governor and other high-ranking officers of BOG were given 21 days to resign as a result of these lawsuits. At that time, the figures were far lower than what we are seeing today. But now, the justification is that they did this to stabilize the economy. Can it be said that under the previous managers of the BOG, they were not doing same to stabilize the Ghanaian economy, having gone through COVID? Look at the painful domestic debt exchange program and the Bank of Ghana as a lender of last resort, where all the burden all the burden apparently fell on the Bank of Ghana, posting these negative balances. Our brothers in opposition then did not give a briefing space and made hay as the sun was shining, because they felt that was the only instrument that could catapult them into governance. And here we are. The reality has dawned on us. No matter the explanation that the NDC professes with these gargantuan losses, I believe they must start with an apology first to bring the people of Ghana into terms with the reality. You look at the projections that Prof was directing your mind to. In 2022, 60.8 billion. That was the time that we were recovering from COVID-19 and its excesses, the Russia-Ukraine impacts. They told us that externalities do not have effect on Ghana, and at a point even calculated the distance between Russia and Ukraine, that when a missile is thrown to the Crimea region and other areas in Ukraine, no corner within the boundary limits within the sovereign state of Ghana suffered dates, and that we should not bring these externalities in. That was the painful trajectory that this country was going through. But it was on the downward side that in 2023, we recorded a 10.5 billion lots, 2024, 9.49 billion lots. So it shows that the clear path of an economic recovery, that gradually our economy is taking shape. But if we are posting these balances and still telling us that our economy is stable, it means that we are hiding certain things from the people of Ghana. We are not getting the realities as a result of the postings being made.
Okay.
Is it the case that they are diverting from international financial reporting standards to tell us that upon all these losses, the economy is in good health? The opaque system of auctioning our gold reserves, the opaque system of auctioning our gold reserves. You remember the government of Nana Akufo-Addo sometime in 2023 started the gold for reserve program. In this painful exercise, used our hard-earned resources to purchase gold, to shore up our currency.
Okay.
Accumulating over 38 point something tons of gold.
Right.
Currently, we are told that over 18 tons of this gold reserve is gone.
Okay.
And now, the Bank of Ghana, the Ministry of Finance is telling us that they are now going to purchase the gold back with another gold purchase program, where an ounce of gold is going to cost us over $4,000.
All right.
why these opaque transactions as a result of the auction of our gold reserve show up their projections. Certainly, something is not right with the BOG. And if the occupied BOG were demanding that the governor and his directors should resign within 21 days, then we are telling them that they should direct this same attention to the current BOG because they have made losses.
Thank you.
There was something that I thought Prof will address, that the figures were becoming or beginning to look good after we were dragged into IMF. They didn't tell us the impact of the IMF dragging us into the IMF on those figures. Then, hey, I am so scandalized this morning. Scandalized because under COVID, Ghana received so much support. The citizens were taxed. Until recently, Ghana was the only country undergoing COVID levy. We are using COVID still. Now, they're talking about Russia, Ukraine. It is still happening. Russia and Ukraine hasn't stopped. It is still happening. Before the Iran war added. And to talk about who brought the Russia, Ukraine, it was the one that name I heard first today, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. He brought the Côte d'Ivoire thing. Why is it that we were not affected and Russia will be? And that is why people jump on it. But there's something that we are all missing here. And I believe that we were in this country. A whole minority asked for the minister, the one managing the economy, to resign or to be kicked. That was not listened to. And today, those people sit somewhere now telling us, teaching us how to manage these things. We appreciate it. That's why I'm saying that for MPP, when they are talking about using certain words.
You appreciate that you have a demo that they should take of the former of Ghana.
Yes, and I'm saying, yes, I appreciate it.
Same should be applied.
No, and I'm saying that even internally within them, they have a super demo. That's why a number of them lost their seats. A super demo asking for, yes, the one managing the finance to be sacked. Oh, Furiata. It didn't happen. Now, let's go back to this. In fact, they didn't tell us how all these things are affected by the DDP, the domestic debt exchange programs, how it has affected the current losses, monies, payments made. They didn't tell us the IPPs, the independent power producers, when they were being paid, where we have gotten the money from. Look, I believe Prof will agree with me. Bank of Ghana also banks. They have the banks with other banks outside, like Zurich, in Sweden, Switzerland, etc. Now, if they invest this in that bank, and that time it was 14 cedis to $1. And so if they have $1,000, they have like for whatever it is, 14,000 Ghana cedis or 140,000 Ghana cedis. Today, as a result of the stability in the dollar, that same thing, which now becomes 1:10 or 1:11, we will lose about 3 cedis or something to the dollar there.
And Prof is saying that regardless of that, there were other ways that you could have done this.
Yes.
And still not lose the 15 billion.
I'll come to Prof.
I don't have much time, Prof.
Yes, I'll come
to. Item in this budget.
Okay, no problem. No, I am trying to find out how the impact of DDP, etc., will be on the current loss. The economic management, that's what I'm saying. The impact of currently, those who import, when they were trying to get $1 then, and they were getting it at 15 cedis, now they get it at 11 cedis. If you go and show them this, they won't pay attention to you because they know what they are getting. My last question might appear a bit personalized, and I asked Professor Bokwin before when we were here, how come that we have all these fine brains, myself included as an engineer, but we are never used or we don't make ourselves available?
Okay.
So that we all help build Mother Ghana. It is something we all must be thinking about. I've asked Professor Bokwin here before. We were on the same program. Very fine people.
Do you accept each other's recommendations for how it should be run, regardless of which party, which political list it is coming, and whose ox is God, as they will say.
Okay. He's coming here to educate, entertain, and teach people here.
I'll end with Braco. Yes. Thank you, Lord Jimega. Braco, we're out, so.
Yeah, I think we are not completely out. In fact, I'm particularly happy that the board of the Bank of Ghana has said that the bank is a going concern. And they do so based on some projections. which includes government recapitalization commitments, policy solvency, as well as other long-term activities that they are hoping to undertake. But like Paul said, my question is, could we have politically, particularly when it comes to the amount we spent, colossal amount, the 16.73 billion in open market operations, the almost, just to mop up excess liquidity. I'm asking, could we have undertaken this activity at a lesser cost to the state? Now, Maltiti, I've heard many say that Bank of Ghana was not created to make profit. Please, they should stop that kind of conversation. It's not a sound argument for anybody to make. Because Bank of Ghana is an advisor to the government. So if the advisor is making losses, imagine the kind of advice they will dish out to the government. So let's not dabble in that conversation. We admit, and Prof had projected them per the analysis. This is not the first time BOG is recording operating losses. But can we reduce the losses? That should be the conversation. Can we reduce it? Yes. But to be saying that it was not created to make profit, and is that your rationalization for the losses or justification for the losses? We shouldn't dabble into that thing. We should admit that the BOD is making losses. But we should be able to take steps to reduce the losses. Absolutely. So that the gains will affect Ghanaians.
And you also agree that from whichever side?
No, the thing is, I mean, when you look at it, from the previous administration, we were incurring losses. And we are still doing that. But can we do it at a lesser cost to Ghanaians?
Okay.
And still stabilize the economy? We can do that. And this is something Bank of Ghana should be able to do. And a quick point. BOG, there are claims that BOG deleted the 2025 financial statement from its website. I mean, if you go there, it was published on 1st May. It's still there.
1st May 2026?
Yes, it's still there.
Okay.
So those claiming that it was deleted as if BOG is taking desperate steps to hide the statement. No, they've not taken it. But BOG too should be careful. Engaging the bloggers. What was it for? When you have communication department at the headquarters, you have media, you have traditional media institutions or outlets. What was the need of engaging bloggers to do what? To communicate to Ghanaians?
They said they were looking at digital revenue, I think how to mop up.
They said they were engaging them to go explain to Ghanaians the issue that has to do with the loss. They said it was
about digital revenue mobilization.
Digital revenue mobilization.
Yes, not necessarily.
But you see, BOG should know the losses are being incurred. Does it look bad on you? It doesn't. It's rather help us to redefine our focus so that we can
and how better we can be able to reduce the losses.
We appreciate their work.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lawyer Bracco Powers, for ending this for me. This morning at the table, I've had Professor Isaac Boadu, who is Dean, Faculty of Accounting and Finance, UPSA, Director, Institute of Economic Research and Public Policy, and Okafor Akwa is member NPP's legal team. He's a lawyer. Austin Bracco Powers is private legal practitioner as well. Lawyer Engineer Theophilus Chimega Jr. is member NDC's legal team. Lawyer, Doc, I nearly called you MD. Maybe there's an MD. I am out this side. We had the Honorable MP for NAPDAM as well, Nawaane, who spoke on the Amissah's death, and our condolences to his family as well. We'll see you next Saturday, bright and early on GTV. This is Current Agenda. Do have a good weekend.